Guys, I'm gonna explain to you every single Rengar clear. I am currently rank 1 E West, and I played about, I don't know, 33% of my games have been on Rengar. I'm also a Mundo player. That's besides the point. I'm gonna show you guys all clears to do on Rengar. There are 4 red side clears, okay? Red side clears. I call them number 1, level 3 into invade. Number 2 is full clear Natty way. This is my clear. Number 3, full clear everyone else, because they're loser kids. Number 4, fast full clear. Okay? I'm gonna go through them. For blue side, which I also, by the way, some people don't like blue side clears. I don't mind it at all. There is E on red and no E on red. And I'm gonna explain it when I'm doing it, and you're gonna understand. Okay. Let's go into a practical game. This is a very professional stream, so obviously, you know what I'm saying. Fuck it. Let's go Conqueror to make it even more like showing off the HP bars. You can go Fleet. I like Fleet and Conqueror. This is a side note for everyone watching. I like Fleet, but honestly Conqueror is completely fine. It's also really good. Take notes, chat. Take notes. Take notes. I'm gonna start off with red clear, and we're gonna start off with the... Let's do the level 3 invade clear. What I need everyone to pay attention to is when I go for bush stack after the first bush stack, and if I'm gonna smite red or if I don't smite red. That is basically the only thing you're gonna have to work at and look at. Side note for all the full clears, I'll get to it actually when I get there, but in general you wanna go Gromp before blue. So, well, it's gonna be some downtime, but it is what it is. Just Q auto, and try to reset your Q as much as possible. Some people like to do basically a bug with after Q, they retain their passive stack by jumping a bunch. I don't like doing this because the pet has such a bad AI that it can fuck up sometimes. Here we take a bush stack, okay? And we smite. Because we want to invade level 3. So we take bush stack and we smite. The bush stack can also come from this bush if you want to. And here I use W, you can use Q as well. It doesn't really matter, but I want to be as healthy as possible, especially if you don't have fleet. Then often W here is better, because you're a bit healthier, right? Both of these die. Something to note: when you kill the small Krug, you want to hit that because you kill the big one first. So the small 2 Krugs that are spawning, you want to kill, and the pet will kill the rest with 5 autos. Here also important, a Q and a bush stack. And now you walk here because you want to invade red buff, right? You can also invade here, but this is for red buff specifically. You E this small wolf. You let the big one come to around here. You can say this stone marker. Then you Q it. And now you're going to be full HP, minus 100, I guess. You're going to have 4 stacks. You walk in here. As soon as it goes to 0, essentially, you Q and you put a ward down. And you're going to see them and you kill them. And if they're not here yet, then you chill. This is the first clear, okay? Let's go to the other clears. Now we're going into the full clear way. I'm gonna start off with my full clear, because my full clear is the coolest full clear. This is what I did for majority of my time playing this champion. And I've hit rank 1 twice, so obviously it's not that bad. And the reason I like doing it, I'll explain a little bit. The reason I do this is because the timers I have 4 stacks are very, very strong. Because there are timers where you can get invaded, and there are timers you can't get invaded. And this way, you can't really get invaded, which is why I do it. So you start off normally, auto Q. Something to note, I don't like to jump with my first auto because it takes time. The auto goes off faster if you don't jump. Here what I do is I don't smite red. I will just Q. And power Q, also always get an auto in between the empower Q and the normal Q. And I just sit here attacking it. And then when it goes to 290, I start walking away. And I hit it and it's gonna kill it on the last one. You can do a bit trial and error, don't like, you know, don't lose your game because it resets, so you can be a bit safer than what I did, but this is essentially what you want to do. Focus the big crab, or the big Krug, you smite it. Then here, take the small Krugs. Something to note, I've noticed the AI sometimes get fucked by the small Krug, so be a bit safe and just kill it around here. Don't pull it out too much. I'm kind of overworking your brains right now, but it's just things that I've noticed from playing Rengar for 200 games, and we're here to be as, basically as, what's it called? Realistically good as possible. Empower Q, E the big one, auto, Q auto, and here you just auto attacking it perma. You can Q a bit earlier than your E just to get movement speed and make it aggro a bit earlier. Q auto W, auto 1 time. walk here to the Gromp, you eat. People like to hold double smite, they talk about holding double smite. With Rengar, my philosophy is you don't need to. And I'll explain briefly why. Basically, Rengar beats almost every champion 1v1, with the exceptions of maybe Yi. Trundle you beat normally if you have powers. Except for with Yi and maybe Udyr. But everything else you beat. If you have 4 stacks. So here again, what we want to do is we want to retain 4 stacks. And if you don't want to wait to kill the buff, you can kill it, walk here, 321, hit this vision plant, be aware that it might reveal you where you are, which you don't want to do. Be a bit aware of this. And then just auto it, pull it in towards the bush, and here you decide if they're coming, you kill them instead, and if they don't come, you just kill the crab, and then you leave it. And now you're done with your full clear. After full clear, this is a little bit of extra work. If they're on bot side crab, right, and you took top side crab, something to get a bit of information, just walk here. If you're not fighting mid lane, sometimes you gank mid lane, something else top. If you have no top or mid lane ganks, just walk here, try to hit this, and you can put a ward here, or you can walk and put a ward here. And this is gonna allow you to back and get to this crab or this camp respawn before anything happens. And then you just full clear again and you play from there. Now, let's do the clear that most people do when they play League. This is the most generic Rengar clear. And the only real difference is you smite red buff. In the meantime that we're just talking here, the reason I don't do this as often is because I'm a greedy bastard. When you smite red, you lose time on your empowered Q that you have attack speed bonus. But in return, you get red buff faster, and red buff deals more damage. Like, it gives you a damage boost. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. The clear is kind of the same, and you're gonna see the number of stacks is the same. Again, I don't go for a bonus bush stack here, because you only do that when you go for level 3 timer. And the only real difference is literally that I'm going to be using my my empowered Q as well, but also I'm gonna smite. What you can actually do, this is a very small side note. I haven't done the maths on all this. I missed an auto here, by the way. It's fine though. What you can also do actually is you can hold your empowered Q and you sit and attack the red buff and smite it, and then empowered Q on this. But I think that is absolutely just stupid. Now you kill the 2 small ones, don't need to waste the autos on the other ones. Because I missed an auto, you also saw that I had to kind of, I couldn't Q as well. So I fucked up a little bit, but you can always recover. This is important to learn. The more you're gonna play, the more you're gonna get better at this as well, recovering your mistakes. And it's the same thing here. This is not at 50, it needs to be 25, so 25 plus 25 is 50. Your pet always attacks twice after an input of an attack. So I had to auto-attack it one more time, because I did it too early. And it's the same thing, you empower Q, you E, and then here you just auto, Q, and then W, and then you walk. And again, I'm just gonna E, and it's gonna be the exact same thing. And I mean, just to show it, I guess we can not smite, just to show it. And when I don't smite, I like to E here. When you don't smite, it's often because you're afraid of invades, and you wanna have smite for blue. This is valid, but the reason I don't do it is because it's just wasting time on Gromp, basically. And you will also notice that the stacks I have on the timers I get in are very bad. So here you could have smited, right? But I guess this way you do have a second smite for crab. But as I said, it doesn't matter because you win fights, so you just jump on them here. But this is also okay to do if you want to. And then you can smite the crab. This was a bugged crab because it's I've reset the game, so it was a fully developed crab. Last one. This is the full clear, but a fast full clear. And the only real difference is we're gonna go here and we're gonna put down a little wardy ward. Bam. And this way we don't have to walk around, but we jump over. The reason this is not very good sometimes, and you only do this when you need to fast full clear, is because wards are actually very useful for your team, and it gives them ability to know where the enemy jungler is. And you want to deep ward as much as possible on this champion when you have the freedom to do so. Because this is the best way you can actually help your team in the early game, because your champion doesn't really like ganking a whole lot. That's why I don't like doing this, and I never do it personally, because it's very fucking useless. and you smite it, and then you jump over, and then you WQ. Here again, you can Q or W. My preference is always W, because of the HP it gives. And especially here, I'm going the Conqueror setup. It's a bit cleaner to have W to get a bit more HP, because it is pretty substantial. Guess what I can do is when you're full clearing very fast, sometimes it's actually useful to go blue first, because it can be faster. And the reason for that is because you can now E, you can Q, and then you empower Q here. And to get the second empowered W, which you need on this camp, right, or the second W, you let it hit, and then you E here. And then you get a stack, and then you W, and you kill all of them with the W. And this way, you have, like, overall more damage, right? And then here, you can just smite this, E this for aggro, and then you jump over. And now our clear is gonna be about 10 seconds faster than what normally it was. But you will also notice that our clear has way worse timers on our own stacks. And it also has worse timers on our respawn camps, because the Gromp is fucked. But I guess you can fix it E and then hold, and now you have 4 stacks at like 312 instead. Which is not too bad. But it's often, again, it's not very useful. Alright, the 2 last ones. Blue side. My view on it, I don't mind blue side start. I think it's completely valid. It's basically the same timers, the same speed, and honestly, it might even be better. Because when you take red as your second buff, you have red for the fight that you might have after 2 camps on your second camp respawns, which is actually very helpful. The one negative is that you can't 3 camp invade from this, because you don't have red buff, and then it's kind of useless. But this is a full clear speed. And the normal reasoning for doing this is that you want to path towards bot side, but you played on blue side. So I have to start on my blue to get to bot lane, right? Here I like to get a stack of a push stack. I Q, I go towards Gromp, I W. For the Gromp here, the finish is kind of important. You use empower Q all the time. And then here, for finish, when it gets to 200 HP, I start walking away in towards the bush. On this auto, you walk towards the bush, you hit it one more time, it's gonna be 64 HP, 63. Then you hit it from the bush and get a bush stack. This way you can Q and then empower W twice. And now you sit here, auto-attacking and Q in the wolf. One more Q, and then you walk over. Also here, don't be too greedy when you're pulling it, because it can actually reset pretty easily. And overall, you're gonna lose time. Then you E for aggro, E the big one if you can. Then you walk here, you get a bush stack. Do you see how when I jumped, my pet actually bugged a little bit there? That's why I don't jump a lot. Then you empower Q and you E to get it aggro. And here is the 2 differences you can make. You can either E here, which I'm gonna do the first time. Or you don't E here and then you smite and E over towards the Krugs to jump over. But when you E, you just keep doing nothing, hold your smite, and then you empower Q. And I like to smite here instantly, because I want this camp to die as fast as possible. I even empower W often. You can also hold your empowered if you want to. That way you have 4 stacks here, but I have 3 stacks now, 315. Not bad at all. Now I'm gonna show you the second one, which is when you don't do that. True. Someone just actually reminded me in chat. I'm doing this live on twitch.tv, net, W marketing, come on now. You can actually skip red buff if you're afraid of getting invaded. Walk straight here and power Q, E, and go over the wall. When you're doing this, as minor thing I do as well, is walk towards the edge of the bush, in case they're walking here, and you can maybe spot them as you're jumping. And that way, on top of the same reasoning we had for Gromp, you will get a better, basically better clear sequencing. But the reason I don't mind it on red side is because it doesn't hurt you too much. And this is also why I always say to smite red or the Krug, and you don't hold smite. Because I think it's very, very important, if you do go red buff first, that you kill the Krug as fast as possible, so it can spawn as fast as possible for your second spawn. Here the same thing, at 300, the auto towards 200, I'm gonna start walking away. I'm gonna let the pet do his thing. Use Q. We've been here before. Sorry. Another thing that it benefits to go Krugs first is that your like natural pathing will be towards mid lane. And if it's towards mid lane, what you can do is you can attack this spawned plant. Fuck it, let me actually do it as well this time. But here we don't E, we hold the E and we Q instead. And then we auto, we smite, and then we E over here. And here I like to Q actually, because it's so healthy already. But you can W there as well, and power W. This way I get 4 stacks. And it's basically the same time. And now I'm walking away, 313, so it's 2 seconds faster. Now, let's do the last one. As I said, the benefits of doing this one is you can walk here and get a stack from it, but it's a lot slower. It will be it will be quite a bit slower, but you will come into mid lane instead. And this is good because you want to get to this bush. This is why starting red is so broken on Rengar, because you end up on a bush, and from this bush you can take full crab control every single time. This is bugged, by the way, because it's on practice tool. No smite for crab, I don't think it's worth it, because on Rengar you're gonna win crab fights anyways. Especially when you red start. On blue start, I guess you can hold the smite completely. But I think it's kind of irrelevant, to be honest. But it's completely fine to do. If you guys want to hold your smite because you think the smite is gonna save you from getting the crab, then fuck it, hold your smite, you know. I'm not gonna be mad at someone holding smite. I just think it's irrelevant, and you can use it for better sequencing, and you can use it for different things. But it's not the worst. It's really not the worst. Actually, with this clear in particular, often what's gonna happen is that I will hold my smite. And the reason I often hold my smite when I do this sequencing instead is because if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember exactly, but the way Rengar works, right, you always want to walk out with full stacks, and this way I will just have full stacks. So I don't QE here, I just walk here, and then I empower Q if you know no one is here. If you don't know if someone is here, then you can hold them powers, and then I just do this. Actually, I misplayed here. You want to make sure that your empowered attack speed runs out, and then you use your second empowered Q. I failed here, sorry. No one's perfect. You get 3 stacks, you go in here and instantly empower Q. I can show it here though. So I want to use everything, but here, instead of empower Qing, I wait for it to run out, and then I empower Q again. But yeah, as you see, I want 4 stacks, right? So I don't actually want to smite this. I instead just want to pull it towards the side and empower Q. And hold my smite, sorry. And now I can jump here. I will see if he's here. And if he is here, well, I'm gonna face check, and then I just try to kill him. Because you're strong. And I guess you also have smite now, which is pretty useful. And you just do this, and you win. Those are, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck it, let's win the game. Those are. I was like 7, 9, 8 clears on Rengar that you can do. And you have to just know what scenario each clear is good for. And I could go over, I feel like I briefly touched on some of the reasons to do it, but it's basically how fast you want to clear, and how much do you value your time, and how much do you value your HP, all of these factors, and you just have to know these things. And God bless you guys, and good luck on your Rengar climbs. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.